One of the first decks I ever built, all the way back in 2013 or so, was this ferocious Dead Guy Nezar, Dead Guy Incorporated. That was the name of my merch company I'm coming out with. Probably stepping on a few trademarks there, but you know, it's alright, buddy. Anyways, man, Nezar was a lot of fun to build. It's a Grixis Wheels commander, kind of brain dead, but it's fun to build, man. But you gotta get crafty, man. Once people see you're using the old Mind Razor, you're gonna get targeted, you're gonna get focused down hard, my dude. I had to build in some counter spells, some hexproof enablers, all that type of stuff. So let's talk about the old Mind Razor in 2024 and see what's new in Wheels Commanders. What's been going on since 2013? So you got to prepare yourself. You may see some new stuff in this video, alright? And if you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what color your britches are, brother. I have YouTube memberships and a Patreon out there. Lots of ways to support the channel, but my favorite way is for you to blow me a kiss over the internet. That feels the best. Now for reference here, for those of you who don't know the Mind Razor, it's 2 blue, black, and a red. Legendary creature, zombie wizard, it's 2/4. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Nezar the Mind Razor deals 1 damage to that player. His enemies wondered if the Lich King's brutal death and unnatural rebirth had been his plan all along. This guy was the prototypical Wheels commander. Now the problem with this guy is that sometimes you draw your opponents into answers for Nezar. Either way, the game moves with him out there. Recently, the old Kydele Parasite got a reprint. This was a very pricey card. You want things like this out there to double up Nezar's trigger, because he is in fact red. You also have cards like Garrison Starn Kellermorph out there, so this guy's 1 blue and a red. Legendary creature, Tyranid Human, it's a 3/2, has Ward 2. This guy's got 3 auto stubs out there. Whenever another source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, Garrison Starn Kellermorph deals 2 damage to that permanent or player, so it makes it like it's doing 3 damage. Don't sleep on this guy, because Nezar is dealing lots of instances of 1 damage. You can't sleep on those universes beyond, man. You might find things like the old Sycorax commander out here. So this guy's 2 black and red, creature alien soldier. It's a 4/2 with first strike and haste. This guy has sanctified rules of combat, man. Of course he does. When he enters, each opponent faces a villainous choice. That opponent discards all the cards in their hand, then draws that many cards -1. Or this guy deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand. We're getting real sluggy out there with this commander with Nezar. O'Hare Axonel, the deepest might. So this guy's 2 red, a legendary creature god. It's a 4/4 with trample. If a source you control will deal an amount of non-combat damage less than this guy's power to an opponent, that source deals damage equal to its power instead. That's crazy, man. Our dude is red. You know, Mr. Dino Hands is pricey though. It's about $10. Somebody told me a long time ago it's Ash O'Neil. I guess I said it wrong, man. I'm sorry, brothers. I'm sorry I failed you out there. You know, what are you gonna do, man? In any case, you're multiplying that damage by 4. Nezar is also a wizard, so cards like Harmonic Prodigy work great to double up those triggers too. I love this card, MH2 Banger. She's playing that loot, dude. If you find a lady that can play a giant loot, marry the heck out of her. Alright? She's a keeper. And then you get that loot in a divorce, brother. And if you want to get real nasty, you're including discard wheels like Dark Deal, stuff like that. A Windfall, slap a Turgid out there for maximum salt. It's getting pretty salty in here, might need a little juice. Okay, so maybe Nezar is not your jam. How about a Snake Leviathan named Zyrus the Writhing Storm? So this guy's 2 green, blue, and a red. Legendary creatures to 3/5 with flying. When an opponent draws a card, except the first one they draw on each of their draw steps, create a 1/1 green snake creature token. This guy deals combat damage to a player. You and that player each draw that many cards. Temur is a little less mean than Grixis. This guy flies. It looks like a lot of fun. Looks like a party on a Saturday night up on that pillar, dude. Now you still have access to red, which is the best wheel color. So you can run the new Razorkin Needlehead. This guy's red, creature human assassin. It's a 2/2. This guy has first strike during your turn. And whenever an opponent draws a card, this guy deals 1 damage to him, man. He's going to stitch your eyes, he's going to stitch your skin, he's going to stitch your little mouth into a grin. But this guy punishes draw. But discard, not so much. You can get into those sweet blue draw 7 effects or draw a lot with cards like Prosperity. X and a blue for a sorcery. Each player draws X cards. You're also making a lot of little creatures, so win conditions can pivot into that with impact tremors type effects. Sack your little snaky babies to Skull Clamp to draw even more cards, man. It's crazy. This guy is 82 damn cents. And even cheaper is this uncommon from Streets of New Capenna. You have Queza, Augur of Agonies, 1 white, blue, and a black for a legendary creature, Octopus Advisor. It's a 3/4. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Listen man, Queza is a really interesting card. So you get off that damn Necrologia on your end step, right? Cast a spell only during your end step. As an additional cost to cast the spell, pay X life, draw X cards. But you're only hitting 1 player, yeah. You take 1 dude out. You have a huge grip, though you do have to discard down unless you have infinite hand size effects. Well, there are a bunch of little life gain drainer payoffs like Marauding Blight Priest out there. 2 and a black, creature, vampire, cleric, it's a 3/2. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life, man. Cliffhaven Vampire, it's another one, showing off that CrossFit bod and that vampire goth sleeve drip, dude. Always love the sleeveless shirts for myself, but I always love the shirtless sleeves too. Now, speaking of white, let's get into some partner commanders. You have Brallin the Sky Shark Rider. So this guy's 3 and a red, legendary creature, human shaman. It's a 3/3. He partners up with Shabraz the Sky Shark. Whenever you discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Brallin, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Has red, target shark gains trample until end of turn. Now the partner is the real meat dude, Shabraz the Sky Shark. So this guy's 3 white and a blue, legendary creature, shark bird. He partners with Brallin, of course. He's a 3/3, has flying. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Shabraz, you gain 1 life. Has white and a blue, target human gains flying until end of turn. So Shabraz, incidentally, goes great in Queza. You know, the huge shark gets really big. It's already got flying. That's nuts, man. Voltron wins with this nasty wheels commander, and massive draw is very viable. Now, I have killed myself as much as I've killed the table with this, but Brallin can go semi-infinite with a Curiosity effect. Curiosity is 1 blue mana, enchantment, or enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. You have to get a number of cards in your hand greater than your maximum hand size. During your cleanup step, discard to your maximum hand size. Brallin triggers for each card discarded, getting a +1/+1 counter, dealing 1 damage to each opponent. Curiosity then triggers, causing you to draw a card for each damage dealt. Pass priority, moving to an additional cleanup step. Repeat until you have no cards left in your library or have won the game. Now this is a May ability, so you can cut the loop if you want with Curiosity, if somebody's punishing draw or something like that. Now, a fun thing to do with Brallin and Shabraz is to get Smothering Tithe out there and then cast the wheel. And then you make basically a billion treasures out there. I mean, that's one way to do it. I do own this deck. It's a really neat deck with punishing wheels, and add some white ways to tutor out your win conditions, and it gets a little steamy in there, dude. Is it the combos in this deck, or is it the illicit love affair between a Polynesian man and his flying fish? Anyways, I want to drop one more wheel commander on you. And no, it's not the Scarab God, though that's a good one too. I think I said Scarab God, but I meant to say Locust God. Anyways, man, Kydele, Chosen of Crufix, 2 green and a blue, legendary creature, human wizard, it's a 2/3. As tap, add colorless for each card you've drawn this turn, also as partner. She bears the greatest burden of all, that of knowing what hides in Nikki G's trousers, dude. Let me just spoil it for you, it's an entire jar of peanut butter, and that's protein butter. That's better commander, dude. So the question is, can we untap this creature? Yes, we happen to have a few colorless ways to do so. Staff of Domination, so this is an artifact, has 1 and untap it, and also it has 3 and tap it, untap target creature. So if you can wheel for 7, Kydele's tapping for 8, right? It's an arbitrarily huge amount of mana. You only need to be tapping for 5 to get mana positive with the old staff here. And you gotta get mana positive, brother. You can win in style with a damn fireball. Take out all your opponents at once, dude. Everybody gets to go have some calzones, alright? This also works with Sword of the Perunes, so this is 4 generic mana for an artifact equipment, has 3. You may tap or untap equipped creature, has equipped for 3. And lastly, you can get this going with the Umbral Mantle, dude. This 3 generic mana artifact equipment, equipped creature has 3, untap it, creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, has equipped for 0. The Umbral, dude. Ever play Lords of the Fallen? You go into the Umbral, you see a lot of creepy stuff in there, dude. P. Diddy's in there. Bill Cosby's in there. Alright, Ellen DeGeneres is in there too, man. Bunch of damn weirdos. So who do we partner this lady up with? Well, we need red. You know, the less mean version is probably a Curie Line Slinger. You get access to red wheels, white artifact tutor. She can get pretty big by herself with all the artifacts in this deck. Or you can get a little meaner. Run Kydele with Vile Smasher the Fierce. This guy's a legendary creature. He's a goblin berserker. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. This guy deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to that player or a planeswalker they control. Less than $1 for this little weirdo out there throwing light bulbs in the night, man. Get access to Black's nastier tutors and all the discard nastiness that Nezar has access to. A 4-color mana base's a little tougher if you don't have access to fetch lands, but it's doable. This is a fun deck that I have run in the past. I still own a paper copy. And that, my friends, is 5 wheel commanders. At one point or another, I've had decks for all these guys, and they're all a lot of fun, man. Some people don't like wheels, or more accurately, the design space around wheel payoffs like Hull Breacher, which is banned right now. I think the only effect I run like that is Notion Thief. It's a little more restrictive, necessitating 2 colors. It's a little pricier, though he works great in a lot of the decks I mentioned here. So what do you guys think? Do you like wheel commanders? Do you like wheels in general? Do you like those cheese wheels at the damn Cracker Barrel? Because that's sustenance, dude. Cheese is a gateway drug. It's what got Drew Barrymore in trouble, man. Nikki G, Better Commander, signing off.